We're late today, but better late than never, right? If there's anyone out there that has the starts and sits, go ahead and drop them in the chat for the fantasy football wake-up call this week. We only got 30 minutes this week, but I will still be here to answer all your starts and sits if you need them answered if you're in the live chat. Germany right now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, up 21-9 on the Seahawks. Tom Brady throws a big interception to give the Seahawks a chance in this one. What's wrong with Tony Tucker? Hello, Tony. What a message of Mark.
It was a terrible interception.
It was a bad one, yeah, especially if the point in the game that they're in. You'd rather just punt.
I need some junk time points from Kenneth Walker right now.
Oh, yeah. Maybe take a screen to the house or something?
Even just like 3 dump-offs for like 25 yards.
Yeah.
Just rack up that.
What's up, Jakey? Harrison's in the house. Drop some star sits, guys. We don't have as much time today, but we can still answer as many as you guys got. Big matchup in Talking Arthritis with Johnny Unitas this week. It's 1 versus 2. Who's number 2 in that league? Is it Joe? It's you? Oh, damn, Tony. Go get that dub. You're going down, Jakey.
What's going on, Harrison?
See that, Tony? This is your new sign. Tell him to tee up. I'm Tony Tucker. I'm the T in the MJT.
It looks like I'm doing like the Italian FU.
That's what Jerry's timeouts are going to look like.
So if I had a TikTok account, I would do the difference of what a fan thinks he looks like when he's going to catch a pass in the NFL, and then cut to Tom Brady trying to catch that pass from Leonard Fournette earlier in the game. That's what we actually would look like, guys. We'd slip on the route. Our legs would flail everywhere. We'd trip the guy. It would be so embarrassing. I have no idea why they sent Tom Brady out on that route, Mike. It was a terrible idea.
Well, I know why they did it. They ran that same formation a couple plays earlier, and they didn't cover Brady. But it's like, even if they're not covering him, think about what's going to happen by the time he catches that ball. Someone's running full speed for his head. Like, even if he's uncovered, there's not enough football field for Brady to get away from Tariq freaking Woolen.
Oh, I would try to dislodge my shoulder. If I got a chance to take a shot at Tom Brady like that, I would throw every single thing I had into it.
Let's skip that one. All right, so Jakey got a trade done, it looks like. He sent Mike Evans and Donta Foreman for Josh Jacobs. Ooh, interesting trade. Mike Evans is having a good game, isn't he? I haven't really seen the first half stats. Hey, what a catch. You're about to see a great catch right now, Tony.
Josh Jacobs seems dependent. He's like held hostage by the game, by the game script for the Raiders.
I think it's incomplete. Let's see. They're showing the replay on my end now. They traded that guy. Denver traded that guy. I just want them to know.
It's so funny that I forget about Noah Fant. Like last year, I was like, he's one of the top 10 tight ends in the NFL. He went to Seattle, and it's like, does he still play football? Is he selling cell phones at a kiosk in Burbank? What does he do?
They gave Walker a carry, Tony, but it's not going to be enough. He only got a yard. What do you think about this deal, though, overall? I think you're getting Josh Jacobs here. I would like it, but I don't know if I personally would do it. I'd rather have the 2 starters instead of the 1 starter. I feel like Foreman is going to perform the rest of this year. He's going to be their workhorse as long as he's healthy.
I think that is the key, is that I know what Steve Wilkes wants to do. So he just wants to put the ball in the belly of the running back and go for it. So 3 out of 4 good games since CMC got traded. I know you're trying to sell high on him, but at a certain point, you're not getting enough in return when you're giving up Mike Evans and that. I don't think I would have done it, but because you're buying – oh, shit. You're buying at the highest point possible at Josh Jacobs at that point. It's that because that just feels like a lot to give up.
Don't you love that? 4th and 1. You just got stuffed on 3rd and 1. You give your mobile quarterback a boot. Give him a couple options to throw and an option to run with himself.
Here's what I love about it, Mike, is that it didn't go to DK Metcalf.
That was a great throw, too, and a great catch.
And then I start doing my Kirk Cousins dance.
I just mean looking at, what they're letting Geno Smith do versus freaking Justin Herbert on our team. On 4th and 1, the Chargers have one route called, and if he doesn't hit that route, we miss the 4th and 1.
Well, yeah, they only have on a 4th and 1. I'm done bashing on Lombardi today. All positive vibes.
Yeah, because we're gonna win tonight, right?
He's gonna open up the offense. I'm telling you, my bold prediction is that we don't even recognize Joe Lombardi after this. We're like,
excited.
This guy's dangerous. Was he a fireman in another life? Like, what's going on? This guy's he's a hero.
How are we feeling about the Ravens, Tony? I feel great about the Ravens. I think the AFC is super tough. But I've always said it year after year. You've heard me say it a million times. I don't know how many times you've heard me say it, Nathan. That the Ravens are a team that just needs to keep making the playoffs. And one of these years they get hot and they just make a run. And it feels like it's going to happen as long as they can hold on to Lamar and hold on to the roster around him. But I really like to see this year specifically, at the deadline, they realized their defense was lacking a little and they go out and add a star player.
Yeah, what's funny is that their defense was average, and that was enough for them to go and get it. Like, it wasn't even like, hey, we're bad, but the rest of our team is Super Bowl caliber. Like, they're aggressive enough to say, like, this portion of our team is just playing mediocre football. Let's help them get to being great. And I wish more organizations would look around and do things like that.
And Roquan had a very good debut, and they did a good job in his debut against New England. So I think that it's looking good right now for the Ravens. I think they're contenders in this as of today. We'll see how the season unfolds, Nathan. Instant replay's got to start sit. We got Terry McLaurin at Philly. We got Jamal Williams at Chicago, or Josh Palmer in San Francisco also. This is a tough one.
Jamal Williams, McLaurin, Palmer. I probably am going to start Josh Palmer in this or Jamal Williams. I would check to see what's going on with DeAndre Swift. I don't have anybody from the Detroit Lions on my fantasy team.
DeAndre Swift was removed off the injury report, I think, on Thursday or Friday. And it's just weird because he still has the injury. Like, how's the injury disappear this week? This was said to be a season-long injury. He's not getting over this until the offseason. He's playing through it. So how does the injury gone all of a sudden?
Well, he had like 3 injuries, too. He had a hip, a shoulder, a foot. Like, everything was falling apart on Swift for a minute. I had to instant replay it. Put in Palmer and just cheer your brains out tonight. Just watch Sunday Night Football and just hope that he gets, another double-digit target week against good corners, I think. I don't think anybody on the team is great. Who did they sign? They signed Trevarius Ward the offseason?
He's the guy that Palmer's going to see probably, and Palmer's dealt with Trevarius Ward in the past, so it's not like it's a first look for him.
Come on.
I think I'm playing Palmer too. I think I am too. The Philly defense is going to be locked in on Terry McLaurin. We'll see what the Washington Commanders can do at all against the Philadelphia defense. Jamal Williams is in at least a split carry situation with DeAndre Swift this week. If he's off the injury report and he's good to go now all of a sudden. And Josh Palmer's like the one there with Justin Herbert in a game where, regardless of how it goes, whether it goes well for the Chargers or bad for the Chargers, we're probably throwing. Those linebackers are scary.
Yeah.
If we're up and we're winning, it's probably on the back of Herbert to Palmer. If we're down and we're trying to come back, it's probably off the back of Herbert to Palmer. Van Jefferson or Marvin Jones? Yikes! Stuck between trash and trash. It must be one of my 32-person leagues, huh, Harrison? Has Marvin Jones done anything this year? Maybe go with the guy. I know he hasn't played, but maybe go with the guy that's getting his first look versus the guy that's done nothing. I haven't heard any of Marvin Jones since the Charger game.
John Wolford.
Oh, yeah, huh?
John Wolford. That's all I got to say. So, Harrison, if this is, there's got to be other choices on your waiver wire, like better long shots, Like, go out there and can you get DeAndre Carter from the Chargers in that spot right there? Is there an opportunity to look at, like, I don't know, Kadarius Toney or MVS for the Chiefs? Like a situation where McCole Harbin's out. Like, let's think outside the box than just whoever they put as the top point getters on your waiver wire. Like, let's look and see where there's a situation where you might be able. Nico Collins might be the only healthy wide receiver for the Texans, and I would start Nico Collins over both of those players.
Yeah, Cooks was activated, but I don't know if they're going to use him. We'll see what they do with him. DeAndre Hopkins in LA or Chris Olave in Pittsburgh. You play DeAndre Hopkins to the end of the season, Nathan, against everybody. I would try and get Olave in your lineup, though.
Yeah, no kidding. This is a good problem to have. I mean, but this is a very realistic problem to have because Hopkins was going in the 6th, 7th, 8th round, depending on if it was 10 or 12 team leagues, and then Olave wasn't going until 10 to 13, depending on how many teams in your league. So that's a real good issue to have right there. I have an issue similar to that where Mike is trying to get Josh Palmer for Antonio Gibson. Get out of here.
Come on, it's a running back for a wide receiver 3 on his team.
On my team, he's a wide receiver like 4 or 5 because that team's loaded.
Well, I'm talking about on his team. Josh Palmer's a wide receiver 3 on the Chargers. Actually, 4, 5. He's a 5th option behind Eckler and Everett also.
Mike, understand something. I'm never going to help you in a trade.
Why?
Why you're ahead of me? You're ahead of me in that league.
Freaking, even my friends in that league are always telling me we will not trade with you, even though I got a deal done for CMC right before the season started. But
I would trade with you for sure. But if it's going to help you in a situation where, then no. And you need a wide receiver.
Yeah, I was in more of a pinch that week as well, a little bit more desperate, but I'm good now. McCaffrey. Oh yeah, I skipped that one. I never asked that one. Henry, CD for Waddle, JT, and Keenan.
And he just wants to know who wins.
Yeah, I think that anyone getting Derrick Henry is winning.
Yeah, the team that gets healthy bodies is winning. Jonathan Taylor's coming back. We don't know what that looks like, and we don't know when Keenan's going to be back. So the team that gets players that are going to be playing on Sunday and gets top 3 at their positions, as far as usage, like CeeDee Lamb has still got to be up there for targets being thrown his way, and Derrick Henry is getting 20 points, 20 carries, 20 touches a game, easy.
Yeah, and I think that Henry is going to be a monster down the stretch of this year. He's starting to really kick it on. And Tennessee Titans, with their QB injuries and lack of wide receivers, they have no problems with Derrick Henry dominating. McCaffrey, Eckler, Barkley, Kelsey, Diggs, anytime touchdown, and the Cowboys money line. I'm guessing this is instant replays parlay. Which one of these guys ain't scoring a touchdown, Tony? Scoring a touchdown. Getting locked up by the Jaguars. Jaguars win today. Instant replay.
The Diggs one feels a little risky if Case Keenum is the guy, right? Like, I don't know. We could see Buffalo do an entire philosophy shift where all of a sudden Devin Singletary and Naheem Hines is catching short balls out of the backfield, and it's a lot of easy looks to Dawson Knox over the middle type situation. So he's the only one that feels the riskiest to me. Scoring a touchdown is so lucky. Any of these guys could all have 150 to 200 yards at their position and just lose out on the touchdown to the backup tight end Gray, or I don't know, Eckler loses out on a touchdown to Xander Horvath. You don't know who's going to get the touchdown. But I like it. Go for the goal. We're still trying to get that engagement ring for the girlfriend there, David. So let it rip, buddy.
Yeah, you'll win it here.
Yeah, she's trying to load up for Christmas. She's trying to get some VR goggles, make things a little weird in your relationship. Just let them hang right here. Plus 2,500. Go ahead and put a couple Benjis down.
Any chance you put anything on Rachaad White? Because he is taking over this backfield.
I picked him up in 2 leagues this week, and somebody else in another league dropped him, and I will be putting in a waiver claim. I'm ahead of you, so I can say it anyways. In the Vegas league, Rachaad White was dropped, and I will be putting in a waiver claim on him this week.
I will try and put it in as well.
Even though I'm already loaded at run, I'm loaded at running back. You know what? I'm not loaded at running back. I have a lot of running backs that should be dropped, basically.
This is what you should have done, RC. What did the result end up being? Did he outscore him? It's probably close. I know Gino turned the ball over once.
Brady turned it over once too.
It's true. You're right. It's probably close.
Yeah, I would say it's right there. I think Gino probably has the edge because I've seen him run a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not enough though.
But how you like this, Tony? I picked Seattle or picked against Seattle each week. I've gotten 100%. I look back. 100% of the Seattle games wrong this year. I picked the Seahawks to win. Finally, they lose. Jesus,
I honestly think I didn't get to watch the first quarter of this game, but I think it was still the smart move. You know, if this game had another 5 minutes, really the Bucs are just hanging on. This is that kind of fight that you see where it's like, oh shit, is this guy going to make it another 3 rounds? He's not going to. They wouldn't have made it another quarter of this game.
Well, if Gino wouldn't have fumbled that ball on the goal line, they might have won. Yeah, that could be the difference.
I would say the odds are about 50-50. It's a coin flip right now.
No. The odds are 100%. Your undefeated streak is ending today, Johnny Top Sports. I don't even know who's on each team, but I can feel it. Is Josh Allen starting? I'm nervous about that. He is starting Harrison, and I have a league where I have Justin Fields on the bench, and I have Josh Allen in. I think, it's the Vegas league. I'm terrified that he goes in there, plays for a drive, and then they go, not going to happen. And
Mike,
they put it.
I'm telling you, I don't think this thing is that serious. I think what they tried to do is they tried to take some heat off him because he really played about 6 bad quarters of football. And they're trying to protect the mindset of him because he knows 3 of his last 4 interceptions have been total dog shit. And how many times have I said in a conversation, would somebody please point out to me where Josh Allen is better than Justin Herbert at quarterback? Not the result of the game, but just show me where it is. And now all of a sudden you're starting to hear more people come out and go, look at Josh Allen with the turnovers. Look at what he's doing here. Look at the decisions he's making in these close football games. And it's like, this didn't change just because he was exciting and the team was winning a bunch of games because their defensive head coach is actually doing his fucking job. That doesn't change anything. This is the problem. People are they don't trust what they're seeing and they just ride the hype of everything else. Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in the league. But when he starts to level off at a certain point, it's not like we didn't see these problems in the past of him just making risky things or bad reads or whatever it is. I don't think there's a real elbow issue. That's the point of this rant, is I don't necessarily think that all of a sudden the elbow is going to keep him out for a long time. I think everybody said, hey, why don't we float this out there as a bigger story, as this could be the reason why it is. He did throw a 70-yard rope after the supposed, you saw that, right?
Yeah, I did see that.
There's a video of that out there.
It's why I'm starting him over Justin Fields, but I'm a little bit worried. I just don't know the severity of it because they've hidden it so well. If it's minor and it doesn't do anything, then he's going to be the same person. If it has any kind of effect, it's going to affect his throwing against his right elbow. But yeah, I don't think that it's crazy to look at Cam Newton's career and Josh Allen's career. And I know Josh Allen's a better passer than Cam Newton ever was already in his career. But look at what those two guys did, how they exploded on the scene, how they dominated so early, how they were so up or down and nothing in between. You can see all the resemblances and how they run the football like maniacs. They are 6'5", and they can move. They're athletic dudes, but these two dudes do not know what slide is. If Josh Allen would just slide at the end of these runs, his career would probably get extended by like 5 years. But he never slides. He always will lower the shoulder, which I admire as a football player and a former player myself. I don't admire it from my quarterback.
No.
This is nothing to prove, Josh. There's nothing to prove. We know you're tough.
It's not how you make it to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Brett Favre is the Iron Man, has the streak for the most games started in a row. And you go back, that guy used to flop when anybody got near him, because he didn't need to be that guy. Once a game, he'd get up in Warren Sapp's face and get a little crazy to get the juices flowing or something like that. But it wasn't like he was doing the kind of shit these quarterbacks are doing now, where they're taking on dudes where it's in their job description to be violent. It's a bad business decision.
It is. Last week, Williams 24 carries, the Swift 10. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's a split. That's a 1/3 split for Swift already right there, with Swift playing off an injury and Ella taking him off the injury report. I think that Palmer is going to see 10 targets at very minimum.
I'm starting to think that the Lions might win the game today, and I think DeAndre Swift could be a key piece to why that is. Like, if he can hit a couple of big home runs for him, if the Lions are starting to get healthy, a little bit of confidence, this feels like the kind of game that we thought the Lions would win when we were watching Hard Knocks. So start DeAndre Swift. Here's the thing. If you don't start Palmer, right, and he does good, you still feel good because he's a Charger. If you don't start Swift and he does really good, then you're just pissed about it because you took him in the first round and he plays for the Lions and you don't give a shit about the Lions.
So Williams has big upside. Every game that he's scored a touchdown, he scores 2 of them this year. Well, then play Williams. Why are you asking us?
No, he's just doing that. He's just torturing himself right now, and he's sharing us with his mental agony in the chat right now, which is fine. I get it. I do the same thing. But I've kind of talked myself into starting DeAndre Swift. Or starting Jamal Williams.
I have Williams and Swift on a team, and I'm starting Swift over Williams, and I would start Palmer over Williams in the same situation. Tony, you talking about Chris Moore? Huh?
No, I think he's telling me to because I told him, he said wide receiver from the Texans, and I'm not saying Chris Moore. I'm saying Nico Collins, bro.
Nico. Pickens or Zeke? Oh man.
I don't think Zeke is playing, or he might sit this one out. Or that was the last report that I read, was that Mike McCarthy didn't think Zeke was gonna give it a go today. So Pickens is the easy answer, the safe answer.
I'll do a quick Google for you, Tyler. But if Zeke's not playing, I think you go Pickens. And even if Zeke is playing on a limited workload, you might want to go Pickens. Pollard has been balling. I don't know why you wouldn't just keep riding that, man. But you know the Cowboys are going to go back to Zeke when he gets back. It says his status is still in question. I believe it's an afternoon game. Josh Allen's now on the field. Yes, he is active, and he is set to start the game. Instant replay. He's playing. He's playing. He's starting in the game. It's just how much. It just depends on how severe or real or not real that injury is. Lucky for Johnny Talk Sports, he doesn't need to win today. He's already clinched a spot in the playoffs and will still be in first place no matter the outcome.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a flex. You should be flexing. He clinched a playoff spot after 9 weeks because he's 9-0. He is the fantasy daddy. You need to get T-shirts and hats with that shit. It just says, "Who's your fantasy daddy?" Johnny Talks Sports. Fill in the blank.
Hello, Hayden. Appreciate you tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Flex PPR. Mozart, Kirk, Judy.
Ooh, Hayden.
I have some big regrets, Tony.
What?
I put CPAT in over Mozart in multiple lineups.
Yeah, the Mostert one is starting to get a little scary. I started Mostert over Deonta Foreman on Thursday night because Hubbard came back and they were talking about how they game planned to get more of the Blackshear kid touches. And I was like, well, what if they only give him 12 touches? I can't handle this. And then Foreman, for 3 out of 4 games, proves to be a beast. And I regret that. In this situation right here, I think I'm going to go with Christian Kirk. Like, they might need to throw a lot in this game against the Chiefs. And I think the slot might be an okay place to attack the Chiefs defense.
I think Kirk's a good option. I'll touch tips with you.
Where is it?
Oh, wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not Chris Moore. Not Chris Moore.
Harrison. It's not your bad.
All right. Well, we did it. Sorry for being late today, guys. There were some technical difficulties. There were some scheduling conflicts. I didn't catch that Joe was missing this week. So, I just put it in there like, Joe, if you get in there with Scottie, start the show. I'll be a little late today. But then I remembered, when I saw your text, wait, is Joe able to make it today?
I didn't know Joe wasn't going to make it either. So I was just sitting here and hanging out because my computer cannot be relied on to handle a show.
Goddamn computer. We're going to get a new computer. We're going to get in better communications with Joe next week. And we'll be on time, 8:30. So make sure you guys are here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Tony, go ahead.
Harrison. First of all, my good buddy Harrison, we love having you here every week. You contribute so much. All I'm telling you right now is those other 2 players that you talked about starting, which I think was Marvin Jones Jr. and Vance Jefferson. Swing bigger, my friend. That's all I'm saying. Just go check and see who's out there and who's injured. And Nico Collins was the guy where I was like, hey, Houston might have a bigger role for Nico Collins than Marvin Jones Jr. or Van Jefferson. I can't even get his name right. With John Wolford, a backup QB. He's going to trust Marvin Jones Jr. There you go. The man can sing, the man can dance, and he can catch the deep ball. So maybe Marvin Jones Jr. gets into the end zone. And I'm rooting for you, Harrison. Let's go.
My advice for your fantasy team, Harrison, is to keep pounding. Keep pounding.